Now, the mainstream media, financial pundits, they've been watching this situation. And you can see coming out of all the different mainstream media outlets, the different shows, they're saying this might be the end. Now, we need to remember something very important. Those who have been in power, the central bank, the deep state, the elites, they've been trying to do the same exact thing to Trump since he came into office. They're trying to get him out of office. What else are they trying to do? They're trying to bring down the economic system. And this shouldn't be anything new for anyone. They've been trying this since the beginning. This is just another event that they're pushing. Now, we need to remember that Trump, since he came into his presidency, he's been pointing to the stock market. Now, we know the mainstream media, the central bank, they use the stock market as their gauge to let everyone know how the economy is doing. So if the market is up, everyone believes the economy is doing great. If the market comes down, everyone believes that the economy is failing. Now, we know this has nothing to do with the economy. It has nothing to do with what's really going on. Remember, this is a central bank illusionary system. It's manipulated. Trump is playing in this world of manipulation. He had to, because we're in a central bank system. Now, when Trump is out there and he's pointing to the market, it's because he knows how the market works. He knows how they can manipulate it and push it up or down. They can make it do whatever they want. He has the magic wand. And he understands that the market was continually rising and rising and rising. And he needed the Fed to step in and reduce the rates once again and push stimulus. Now, if the market is continually rising, how does he make this claim? If the economy looks incredible, with GDP numbers looking incredible, with unemployment looking incredible, how does he get the Fed to do what he wants them to do? The Fed is not going to. There's no case that he can make to say, oh, the U.S. needs this. Yes, he can say, oh, look at other countries, look at other places, but this isn't enough. And what we're looking at is something that Trump and the Patriots, they knew that this was going to happen. They knew that fear, which is being pushed out there right now, because if you look at the latest news that came out, it was about the virus, and they said they're monitoring the virus, and this was in California, something like 8,000 people, they're monitoring them. Doesn't mean they have it. Remember the words they use. But the news can force the market to do different things. It could scare the people, and the market then comes down. Trump and the Patriots, they understand this. Remember, it couldn't be a 1,000 drop and then another 900 drop, another 800 drop. That's not enough to convince the central bank that it has to step in. It's not enough just to have it a couple of days. Trump and the Patriots need this to go a little bit longer. This way, Trump can make the case to the central bank, remember optics are very important, to say, you know something, the economy really took a beating, and we're going to have to do something here. Now, of course, they're using reverse psychology. Kudlow's out there saying the economy is very strong, and as this continues, we're going to see things change. So when you see the market coming down, don't worry. This is all part of the plan. You're going to see it move up. You're going to see it come down. You're going to see it move up. You're going to see it come down. It's to make it look like everything is completely unstable. Now, what's very interesting is that Trump and the Patriots, they're very calm. They're not pushing any fear. They're saying everything is under control and there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about in the economy. We'll be talking a little bit more about this later in this report. But first, I wanted to talk about the UK. And we know that Brexit is done. Now they're hashing out the finer points with the EU. And this has to do with trade. And we know that Trump, he's looking to make a trade deal with Boris Johnson. Actually, they're talking that there most likely will be one by the end of this year. And the EU, they are going to continually try to push their agenda, where they want the UK to do exactly what they want them to do. Even though there was a Brexit vote, it makes no difference. And we already see that Boris Johnson is pushing back. Remember, he holds all the cards right now. The EU does not. He does. So Boris Johnson, he rebuffed EU demands for common trading standards and continued fishing rights. And he warned the EU that, listen, I don't have to agree to any of this stuff. I can walk away. It makes no difference to me. I'll go to the US and make a deal with them. And I will have nothing to do with the EU. Actually, Boris Johnson wants the same deal that Canada made, but the EU doesn't want to do this. Because remember, the UK was part of the EU, or not exactly a part of it, but they were following their rules. And now that they're not, now that they're separating themselves, they don't want other countries to see how successful the UK is going to be in the end when the UK is trading with other countries where they're managing their economy and they're not part of the EU. Because once other countries start to see this and they start to see the UK flourish, this is the end of the EU, because other countries are going to look at this and say, why don't we do the same exact thing? Because if they can be successful at this, so can we. And you can see Boris Johnson, he's not giving in. He's continually pushing. And what he wants is he wants a free trade agreement similar to the deal that Canada has. But the EU doesn't want to give it. He might just walk away. He doesn't care. He holds all the cards. And remember, the trade deal with the US is on deck. Boris Johnson is winning. Now, very interestingly, with this whole event that's happening right now, you would think the central banks would just automatically step in. Okay, we don't want the global economy to implode on itself. So we're going to step in and we're going to lower rates. We're going to push more stimulus to make sure that this doesn't happen. Now, in the past, they would step in a moment's notice. This is how you know that they want the opposite. They've been trying to get the opposite. Remember, they've been trying to blame this on everything else. What did they blame it on? Oh, Trump's economic policies. Well, that failed. Well, we'll blame it on the trade war. Oh, that failed. We'll raise the interest rates, and when we reach a certain point, it'll be like a domino effect, just like the Fed has done in the past, and that will bring down the economy, and that will spread to the rest of the world. Oh, that failed. We'll just say there's a recession coming. Oh, that failed. They tried multiple times. It has all failed. Now they're using this, and they're standing back, and I'm talking about the central banks. They're just standing back and saying, you know something? We're just going to monitor the situation. That should tell you pretty much everything. Christine Lagarde, who is the head of the ECB now, said, yeah, you know what? We're not going to do anything right now. We're just going to monitor it. We're going to just look at what's happening. It seems that the economies of the world are fine right now. No big deal. We're just going to sit back and see what happens. Now, remember, they're trying to pivot this and blame it all on Trump because he wasn't prepared. He's not ready for this. It's his fault. And this is what they're trying to do. This is all going to fail. Why? Because if you look at the global economy, it's been failing all along. They're looking for an event. They're looking for something to cover it up. Trump and the Patriots are not going to give it to them. We already see things starting to change. And remember, Trump, he wants this to play out. He needs the bubble to be deflated a little bit. He needs the economy to look like it's struggling a little bit because of this. He needs the mainstream media to make a really big deal about the stock market. He's going to use all of this against them. He's going to turn it all around when the time is exactly right. And it won't be that far off where we're going to see everything turn around, because when the market comes down like this, it gives him the ability to bring it back up. But how does he bring it back up? He's going to have to make the case that because of what just happened here, and you can see, look at the market, it is way down. The Fed needs to do what I want them to do. If they don't, the system won't survive. Now think about what he's going to do here. He's going to place all the blame on the Fed. He's going to say, we need interest rate cuts. We need stimulus. And if we don't get it, who's to blame? Trump? No. He's telling the Fed what to do, because if he could do it on his own, he would just do it. But he can't, because we have a private Western central bank that controls that. And he's calling on them to do it. If they don't do it, who is to blame? He has trapped all of them. And he's waiting for the right moment. And that right moment is coming very soon. Actually, coming out of CNBC now, Starbucks now has 85% of its stores open across China. We also had it out of China that China has changed the course of the coronavirus outbreak. And what they're saying in China, they thought it was going to get a lot worse, but it's not. Actually, the opposite is happening. So we have Apple stores opening up, we have the Starbucks stores opening up, and everything's starting to reverse itself. And once again, Trump is going to wait for the right moment. And as you can see, that moment is approaching very, very soon. We might see another couple of days or maybe a week of the market going up and down like this, coming down, going up. Makes no difference. He needs to make his case. And he's going to televise this to the American people. They're going to know who is responsible if nothing is done. He's trapped them all. Brilliant. Watch what happens next to the economy. It's going to be incredible.